So I just want to quickly go over a few CPAS Facebook ads mistakes that you want to pay attention to if you have CPAS. I mean, I do hope you have, but if you don't, then search for my other videos to talk about how can we actually get CPAS. But if you have CPAS, these are the few mistakes you must avoid when you're running CPAS Facebook ads campaign for your Shopee or Lazada store or any marketplace store. Now, the first one is you do not want to advertise with no exclusion. You see, this is the biggest problem when you are running ads generally without knowing how to actually optimize. And you see, here's the thing, here's the logic. If I've seen your ad, if I've clicked on the ad, okay, if I've visited your Shopee store and browsed your product, do you think I should stop seeing the original ad? You see, when you're running ads, you have to always remember you're actually targeting different category of people, but generally there must be an ad that is going out to target new people, to help you find new customer for your Shopee store. So this is what we call the broad targeting or the tier 1 campaign, or rather the top of funnel campaign, whatever you want to call it. So basically, this is a campaign that should constantly go out and help you meet and find new people who are potentially your customer. So first thing first, you need to actually start using exclusion, because if I've seen your ad, taken action on the ad, whether I have bought it or I have added to cart or I just browse your product on your store without taking much action, I have seen the very first ad. Because generally the first ad is usually more kind of like introductory, which is like, we get this at a very special rate, we are actually kind of like whatever, just buy now. So it's very introductory. So the advertisement itself should be more like on the surface. So basically, you want to exclude these people, because the next time I see back this advertisement, I'm very not likely to take the same action again. You get what I mean? Because to me, I've seen it. My brain, although it's kind of like vague, but in a way, we would realize, we kind of know that, I've seen this before. I would not take the same action. I would not actually do it again, because especially product-based is actually very easy to remember. So that's the first thing. Because by applying exclusion, meaning that you must exclude people who have added to cart or visited your store or stuff like that, by applying exclusion, you are able to make sure that your ad are constantly reaching new people. And this is very important, because you want this to actually have a very strong top of funnel inflow audience coming into your business. So that's one thing you must actually do. So exclusion is the key. Okay. And then the next thing here is, yes, you need to do retargeting. Now, what I want to talk about here is the second mistake a lot of CPAS, Facebook ads advertisers make is they actually advertise with the wrong retargeting strategy. Now, I've actually seen this. For some reason, I understand some marketplaces actually advise you to retarget for 180 days, because that's the maximum you can go for retargeting. For Pixel or mobile SDK, these are all the things that you can install on your website or your mobile app, which essentially for Shopee is mobile SDK and website all combined. When you do retargeting, the maximum duration you can go over for this kind of custom audience is 180 days. And if you go for 180 days, just imagine, I just want to paint you the picture. If, let's say, for example, if you sell a pen, for example, I see the pen, I like the design and all that, I click and I go over to your Shopee store and I don't buy, okay? Assuming that I am actually considering whether to buy from you or someone else. Now, my question to you is, how long do you think I need to consider whether I should buy this pen from you or your competitor? So this is really something you have to consider. The conversion window is the key that you need to consider, which is conversion window for e-commerce. Actually, I would say usually is within 3 to 7 days. Now, let me give you another example. Yeah, you know what is a conversion window for a mobile phone? It's a smartphone. Okay, I actually work with one of the largest smartphone retailers in Malaysia. They spend, I think, tens of thousands every day on Facebook advertising. So, when I spoke to them, when I try to understand the business model, they say that usually for mobile phone purchase, the conversion window is actually within 48 hours. Can you imagine that? 48 hours, which is like under 2 days. You know why? Because when you want to buy a phone, you need a phone yesterday, not tomorrow. You need it now, because nowadays human can't live without smartphone. So that's the thing. You actually have to understand your business. What is your conversion window? And when you do retargeting, you want to optimize it for the conversion window. So I would say 180 days retargeting is a key. Why? Because first thing first, people will not take that long to retarget. Okay, so if you follow them for 180 days, essentially means if I come and see your product and I don't buy, I will see this retargeting ad for 6 months, my friend. Okay, one thing, if you keep seeing an ad for 6 months, you will hate the brand for sure. Agree? Now, the second thing is, if you run ads to a person for 180 days and retarget them for 180 days, you are technically burning money for no reason. So this is not a very sound strategy. So that's something that you want to actually consider. All right. But yes, some people say that, hey, what about those who purchase? Now, that's another strategy. That's another strategy. You see, another strategy that you can actually apply is, yes, you should actually do customer nurturing, which means, let's say, for example, yes, you are able to gather those people who bought from your store, on your Shopee store, if you have CPAS, up to 180 days. Okay, so when you do this kind of retargeting, you want to run different set of ads. You want to tell them that, hey, you want to run it maybe on a periodical basis and say that, okay, this month we have this promotion and it's only for 7/7, or it's only for 8/8 or something like that. So this kind of retargeting is more on nurturing your past customers to first increase the lifetime value, second to build brand loyalty one way. So that's something that you want to consider, really. So yeah, you want to actually make sure that you are actually having the right retargeting strategy. First, not retargeting for too long for those who have not bought. But second thing is you want to do retargeting for those who actually bought, which is a nurturing strategy. All right. So that's the second thing. Now, the third thing I want to highlight here is because based on my observation, I kind of realize a lot of people are sticking to the old strategy, which is, I'm not saying that it's over. It's just that this is the recommended strategy by marketplaces. Because usually for Shopee and Lazada, when you get CPAS, they will give you some education about how you can actually run CPAS ads in a more effective way according to them. So what they will usually do is they will usually get you to do a kind of like a collection ad, which is, the kind of ad that actually have a video, and then after that have some product at the bottom. And when they click, they open up a collection, which is like, we call it the instant experience, which is like a mini landing page on Facebook where people would actually get to browse some of the items before they decide whether they want to go over to your Shopee store or not. So, and a lot of people are still using this. Now, I'm not saying that this strategy doesn't work, but I want you to actually dig deeper on the data and see whether are you wasting some clicks. Now, what do I mean by that? You see, based on my observation, a lot of actually, like for example, let's say you get 1,000 clicks on your advertisement. Now, when they open up the instant experience, maybe 1,000 of them open up an instant experience. Based on my observation, okay, most brands lose up to maybe at least 40 to 50% of this audience at the instant experience or collection page, which means when they click and they start browsing those products that you actually build up in the instant experience on Facebook, and they found out like, I can't really find the product that I want, and they don't go over to your Shopee store. That's a waste, you see. So because essentially, yes, collection or instant experience gives you that kind of like a different kind of experience when you're running ads. It makes it feel like, oh wow, very professional. You had it lined up, but it's also a friction. A friction means it's an additional step that people can actually and kind of like it's kind of like a second thought, like what do we call second thought opportunity, and they will drop out. They might drop out. When they don't go over to your Shopee store, then you won't be able to trigger your CPAS ads, you see. So you got to really plan this very carefully. That's why just some suggestions for you to actually ponder, yeah. So if you have been using collection ads, try to dig in and look at whether are you having actually all these numbers drop. And you should try using single image or even carousel advertisement, which, okay, by clicking, you want to lead them directly to your Shopee store. That's the whole idea. You want to reduce the friction and make sure you send as many people to your Shopee store, right into your Shopee store as possible. So that's the whole strategy. But of course, some of you might be asking, oh, how am I supposed to look at all this data? Now, here's the thing, okay? Because I'm actually building my Fiverr profile, I'm offering my one-on-one Facebook ads audit, okay, for $10 only, which means by paying $10, you will have me to come over to look at your Facebook ads campaign, via Zoom, of course, to help you analyze your existing Facebook ads performance and to give you an action plan about how you can actually improve your Facebook ads performance. So I'm doing this because I'm building my profile. I usually charge $197 for this. You can go to my website and check it out. But for now, scan this QR code or find a link you'll be able to do this, for just $10, and this offer will end very, very soon. Make sure you grab this. Okay, so that's the tips I have for you about CPAS Facebook ads mistakes to avoid. Remember, first thing first, you want to apply exclusion. Second, you want to revisit your retargeting strategy to make sure that you have a sound one. And instead of constantly using the collection or instant experience, you should actually consider trying single image or even carousel to reduce the friction, okay, between Facebook and Shopee. Make sure you send as many people onto your Shopee store as possible, because that's the most important way for you to optimize your outcome.